This video will guide you on the correct construction of a Lysart Living Collection freestanding pitched roof structure. Lysart have over 150 years in the building industry in Australia, making quality products which will give you years of service if installed and maintained correctly. Lysart Living Collection is a series of home improvement products including carports, awnings, verandas and gazebos, both freestanding and attached with either pitched or flat roofs or a combination of both. Construction is made easier with dimensionally accurate and quality components joined using custom-made connectors. For the homeowner, long-term enjoyment is assured. Now we're going to look at the whole building sequence from beginning to end in time-lapse so you can get a feel for the whole process. There are two construction methods, build top-down or build from the ground up. This video describes the top-down method. As always, our first consideration is worker safety. The HIA recommends a safe work method statement be written and that the worksite conforms to the safe work practices in the Building Code of Australia, including personal protective equipment and working at height safety measures. Here's a quick look at the tools you'll need to do the job. Step ladder, spirit or laser level, PVC downpipe and elbow, adjustable stands and clamps, hacksaw, rivet gun, silicone gun and clear silicone, adjustable spanner, tape measure, post hole digger or shovel, string line and stakes, concrete, pliers and tin snips, ratchet wrench, drill and adapters, angle grinder, electrical lead, safety equipment, sawhorses and planks. Using the bill of materials, lay out the parts and check that all the required components have been delivered. Review your CC Builder plans before you start work. Using the plans generated by CC Builder, mark out on the ground the dimensions where your beams go using a tape measure or string line. Measure diagonals to check for square, measuring from the outside of the beams. Mark the corner locations. Using the dimensions on the CC Builder drawings, cut your beams to length, taking into account which beam goes right to the corner. Connect the corner brackets and gutter brackets to the end beams. Set up your props at the correct height from the ground, measured to the underside of the beam. Position the side rails on the props and align with the corner positions you have marked on the ground. Connect the end beams to the side rails and check for square. Tie off if it's windy. Adjust if necessary. Drop a plumb line in the corner and mark the post locations on the beam, allowing for the offset of the post. Once the posts are located, dig the holes for the post footings to the recommended dimensions. Measure from the top of the rail to the bottom of the post hole and cut the post 50 mm from the bottom of the hole. Drill the screws into the bottom of the post. Position the post on the mark on the inside of the beam and plumb it. Drill one hole in the post and the rail and clamp the post to the rail with the post bracket installed. Plumb the post to get it square in the hole. Repeat this process for all of the posts. Fill the post holes with concrete and allow at least 1 hour to set. It's now time to start the roof structure. Builders prefer to do truss assembly on the ground. First, check your CC Builder plan, which will give you the dimensions to cut your rafters. Add gable end connectors to the top of the end beam, then bolt and screw into position. Install the rafters on the gable end first. If an F150, angle cut the bottom end of the beam to 22.5 degrees. F100s are cut square. The apex end is cut square also. Connect the delta connector to those trimmed rafters. Measure the distance between any intermediate purlins and mark out the location on the beams. Put the connectors onto the beams. Position the rafters into the gable connectors and screw into position. Make up the intermediate truss. The ends get cut square because the crown and rail connectors make up the required angle. Measure between the rafters and cut your ridge beams to length. Place them into position and fix them to the delta connectors. Check the plans to determine the required length of the collar tie, then attach using the collar tie connectors. Make sure the bottom of the collar tie is horizontal by using a level and measuring on both rafters to the end. Fix the collar tie to the rafters. The collar tie should be about 70% of the height of the rafter for the intermediate truss. This completes everything except for the roof sheets, gutter and downpipes. The gutter is fitted to the perimeter beams with gutter brackets, making an allowance for fall for drainage to the downpipes. Silicone seal the stop ends and outlets prior to attaching to the gutter. Drill a hole in the bottom of the gutter. Remove the remainder of the protective plastic coating. Lift the gutters into position on the rails and fit into the gutter brackets and fix off. Now we're ready to lay the roof sheets. Check the structure is plumb before the roofing goes on and adjust if necessary. First, fit the roof beam angle on the ridge. Next, remove protective coating from the sheets. Make sure the first sheet is set correctly with 50 mm overhang from the back of the gutter and pressed flush with the roof beam angle. Starting at one end of the sheet. Flat deck sheets snap together by rolling and pressing together. Laying from right to left or left to right, depending on the prevailing winds, start laying the sheeting from the gable end. This should keep the roof sheets in line. You may need to trim the final sheet to fit. Install the translucent infill sheets of the gable end. Measure to cut the correct size. Continue fitting the translucent sheets. Barge capping is fitted where the roofing meets the gable end. Working from the gutter end of the capping with the 110 mm side facing out, mark the plumb line. Using tin snips or a nibbler, cut up the face and continue the cut right across the flashing. Working from the gutter end, sit the barge cap onto the gable. At the top of the gable end, mark where the flashing and the apex meet. Cut to fit. Fix to the roof sheets with pop rivets as per the drawing. Working from one end of the roof, position the capping 5 mm from the end of the barge capping. Mitre cut back from the centre of the flashing and cut with tin snips to the outer edge. Do the same at the other end. Starting half a sheet in, fix off the ridge capping using pop rivets as per the drawings into the rib of the sheet along the ridge beam line. Check for straightness every metre and return to the ends. Apply a bead of silicone 10 mm in from this line and fix to the roof sheets with pop rivets. Attach the downpipes to the spigot and affix downpipes to the posts. Clean up as you go along and on completion remove all remaining foreign objects from all of the surfaces. Once you put the safety signs up on the inside of the beams, you're done. Let's revisit that whole sequence from beginning to end in time lapse so you can picture the whole process. Although every project can be slightly different, basically that's how you build a Lysart Living Collection freestanding pitched roof structure.